Hey everybody, and welcome to my very first review of Sonic Mania. Personally, I'm not the biggest Sonic guy on the planet. I just didn't grow up with Sonic games. And when I got older, I appreciated the quality and uniqueness of these games. But gameplay wise, they just didn't really click for me. But this game, single-handedly, made me a Sonic fan. So if you consider yourself a Sonic fan, you probably have played this game already. But if you haven't, and you're thinking about it, or if you just want to know what this game is all about, then maybe this video will be for you. So for this review, I'm using the Switch version of the game. It's just the version I'm most familiar with. But the game is also on Windows, PS4 and Xbox One. So let's dive into the story, shall we? So the game starts off with Sonic and Tails swooping in with a tornado, just like in the start of Sonic 3, where they discover some of Eggman's robots trying to dig up this purple gem thingy, a reality warping stone named the Phantom Ruby. This immediately breaks the space-time continuum and warps them straight into Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. Good job, guys. And the 5 robots got some massive upgrades as well. We'll be seeing them later. Yeah, it is kind of lame how much Sega has been forcing Green Hill Zone down our throats over the years. I mean, I understand that they really want to hammer in that nostalgia, and that Green Hill Zone basically goes hand in hand with Sonic brand recognition, but still. Even though this rendition of this level is actually really well made. But from here on out, it's a super fast Sonic platforming gameplay that we all love. And in my opinion, Sonic controls better than he has ever been in any 2D game. The physics just really click here. Like, rolling down a slope lets you continuously gain speed at a logical rate. Familiar moves make a return as well, like the spin dash, which lets you charge up for a boost of speed, and the drop dash, which can give you a burst of speed instantly when you land. You can also play as Tails and Knuckles as well. Tails can hover for an amount of time to get some serious height, and Knuckles can glide and climb on walls. You can break these monitors to obtain rings and other power-ups. The elemental shields also make a return. The fire shield lets you do this fast air dash attack, the water shield lets you breathe in the water, and the electric shield draws in rings around you. And if you find one of these big rings, you can enter one of the special stages. And these are some of the best in the entire series. So you run around this 3D racing course and collect these blue balls to increase your speed, and collecting rings will let you stay in a bonus stage for longer. The goal is to catch up to this UFO to nab that sweet Chaos Emerald. Collecting all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds will let you transform into
Super Sonic,
who's invincible and just insanely fast. And Tails and Knuckles get super forms as well, although they just don't get the looks, they just kind of sparkle a little bit. Okay, let's talk about the different zones in the game. Unfortunately, there are only 4 original zones in this game. You got Studiopolis Zone, Press Garden Zone, Mirage Saloon Zone, and the final level, Titanic Monarch Zone. These 4 zones are definitely the highlight of the game for me. Then we have Chemical Plant Zone and Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic 2, Stardust Speedway Zone and Metallic Madness Zone from Sonic CD, and Hydro City Zone, Lava Reef Zone, and Flying Battery Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's not all copy and paste though. For instance, Chemical Plant Zone Act 1 plays out very loyal to the original level, complete with this jank underwater section. But then, in Act 2, they mix it up, by introducing some new mechanics like these green bouncy floors, these helix lifts, and the clear spiral tubes. And in Act 2 of Oil Ocean Zone, the screen slowly fills up with this thick smoke, and you have to pull these handles to get rid of it. This mix-up is even reflected in the music, where Act 1 usually has a piece that sounds very much like the original music, and the second act features a remixed rendition. Okay, yeah, let's talk about the music for a second. I love the music so much for this game. Even while I'm writing this review, I'm listening to this game's soundtrack and I'm just having such a good time. The composer for this game is T. Lopez, and this man is such a legend. My favorite pieces are the one for Studiopolis Zone, Press Garden Zone Act 2, and the flying section in Mirage Saloon Zone. I mean, it's just so freaking good. Okay, let's go back to the actual levels. But man, I just love almost every single one of these levels. I mean, there are so many great moments. Like this one in Studiopolis Zone, when you run into this van and you literally get broadcasted to these satellite dishes. That is so awesome. Oh, and then there are the popcorn volcanoes as well. Press Garden is a very interesting zone. It takes place inside of this printing press where they produce all of the Eggman propaganda, I guess? But in Act 2 you actually leave the building and go outside into this ice level, which is just covered in these beautiful sakura blossom petals. It's just beautiful. And the Stardust Speedway zone is pretty cool, with having the past section in Act 1 and the future section in Act 2. I'm not really a fan of the auto-scrolling plane section in Mirage Saloon Zone, but Act 2 is pretty cool. I also love it that when you have a fire shield equipped and you're sliding down an oil slide in Oil Ocean Zone, you just set fire
to everything.
And then there's a Shrinking Beam and Metallic Madness Zone as well, and Titanic Monarch Zone is just a really good final level overall. But yeah, there is some janky hit detection in this game as well though. Like in this section in Chemical Plant Zone. There is no way I got crushed there. Every act ends with a boss fight as well, against either one of Eggman's machines or one of these robots that we saw at the beginning of the game. Special shoutouts to the boss at the end of Chemical Plant Zone, where you suddenly fight Eggman in this Puyo Puyo match. Whoa, a reference to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean machine. Either way, don't worry if you suck at Puyo Puyo, because Eggman sucks even more. I also really like this Capsule Machine boss fight. Sonic has shrunken down and you have to release and destroy these little Eggman toys that come out. Or these Amy dolls that will hug you and freaking explode. Amy, please, don't do this. We can talk about this. No, Amy, no! And these boss fights against these robot dudes are also really cool. Like for instance the Heavy Gunner, which is just this epic chase sequence. And the Heavy Shinobi is just a fight that will really test your reflexes. And the Heavy Magician is also a really cool boss fight, just for all of these callbacks to really obscure previous Sonic characters. And there's a Metal Sonic chase sequence at the end of Stardust Speedway Zone. Just like in Sonic CD. Just like in the older games, there's a final boss that you can only fight as Super Sonic. Only if you collected all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds though. If you own the Plus edition of this game, you get access to Encore mode. In this mode you start off in Angel Island Zone from Sonic 3. This is pretty cool, but it's only one act though. Would have been cool if they also included Act 2 where the entire island is on fire like in the original game. Well yeah. And at the end of this zone, we find Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. Wait, who? You know, these guys from the Sega Sonic arcade game and Knuckles Chaotix. How could you forget about them? Nah, but seriously, I really like it that these guys were brought back into the spotlight. They are both fully playable in this mode and in Mania mode as well. So, Mighty can do this drop attack and he can land on spikes with no problem. Ray can fly through the air, very similar to the Cape Feather in Super Mario World. Sadly, Angel Island Zone is the only new zone we're getting here. From here on out you go to some recolors of the same stage we went through in Mania mode. For instance, Green Hill Zone has this nice, cozy sunset aesthetic, which is pretty nice. And Mirage Saloon Zone is played at nighttime. But the gimmick in Encore mode is that you recruit the other characters by finding them in these monitors, or winning them in this Crane bonus minigame that you can try when you made it to the checkpoint with 50 rings. And you're able to switch between the top 2 characters of your party instantly at any time, which is pretty nice. But yeah, that's pretty much Encore mode, to be honest. Maybe it's a little bit too much to ask, but I would have liked at least one extra original level here. Oh yeah, and also, the special stages in this mode are actually super hard, so good luck. There are some other extras in the game. You got the time attack mode and the versus mode, and you can play this Puyo Puyo boss minigame against either a friend or a computer. You can also play through these blue ball special stages from Sonic 3, with either the original levels from Sonic 3 or new levels from Sonic Mania. And there's a debug menu in the game as well, which gives you access to any level in the game with any character that you want. There are also a ton of cheat codes you can use. For instance, you can give yourself unlimited continues or instant access to Super Sonic. So, go nuts I suppose. So overall, this game is just an absolute blast, man, from start to finish. If it wasn't obvious enough, I really love this game. This game instantly made me a fan of the Blue Hedgehog, and if you are a Sonic fan, I'm sure you've probably played this game a dozen times already. But if you've never played a Sonic game before, I think this one could honestly be a great entry point into the series. It's just that good. I mean, yeah, okay, this is really a game that's made by Sonic fans, for Sonic fans, so all of the references, callbacks and Easter eggs in the game, they're just kind of going over your head if you're a casual fan. But I mean, I don't know, maybe after this game you'll be one of these hardcore Sonic fans, and before you know it, you'll just be complaining about the fact that Sonic is not the correct shade of blue in this game. I mean, that's what Sonic fans do, right? And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, congrats to you. Hope you really enjoyed this review. I'm planning to make more videos like this in the future, with other Sonic games and other franchises that I'm really passionate about, like Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, all that good stuff. So yeah, hopefully, see you on the next one. Bye. Amy, no!